Si de casualidad me ves llorando un poco es porque yo te quiero a ti. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar todas las ilusiones vagabundas que se dejan alcanzar, y no verás que lo que yo te ofrezco es algo incondicional. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar, te enredas por las noches entre historias que nunca tienen final. Te perderás dentro de mis recuerdos por haberme hecho llorar. Nunca es suficiente para mí, porque siempre quiero más de ti. No ha cambiado en nada mi sentir, aunque me haces mal, te quiero aquí. Mi corazón estalla de dolor. ¿Cómo evitar que se fracture en mil? Acostumbrado estás tanto al amor que no lo ves. Yo nunca he estado así. Si de casualidad me ves llorando un poco es porque yo te quiero a ti. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar todas las ilusiones vagabundas que se dejan alcanzar, y no verás que lo que yo te ofrezco es algo incondicional. Incondicional. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar, te enredas por las noches entre historias que nunca tienen final. Te perderás dentro de mis recuerdos por haberme hecho llorar.
De Iztapalapa para el mundo, con amor, Los Ángeles Azules.
Yo quería hacerte más feliz y te acostumbraste tanto a mi amor que mi corazón estalla de dolor. Y tú te vas jugando a enamorar, te enredas por las noches entre historias que nunca tienen final. Te perderás dentro de mis recuerdos por haberme hecho llorar. Te perderás dentro de mis recuerdos por haberme hecho llorar.
Duele el amor sin ti, duele hasta matar. Siento la humedad en mí de verte llorar, ni hablar. Si es que tú te vas de aquí, creo que a mí me va a sufrir.
Hoy quisiera detener el tiempo, la distancia entre los dos, pero se apagó la luz del cielo, ya no sale más el sol.
Soy fragilidad sin ti, ¿cómo superar el fin? ¿Dónde es que dañé? No sé, y el recuperar se fue.
Ni tú ni yo somos culpables,
Pero somos vulnerables.
son las cosas de la vida.
¿Qué me queda por vivir? Duele el amor sin Soy fragilidad, sin ti, ¿cómo superar el fin? ¿Dónde es que dañé? No sé, y el recuperar se fue.
Tú ni yo somos culpables,
Pero somos vulnerables.
son las cosas de la vida.
¿Qué me queda por vivir? Duele el amor sin ti. Llueve hasta mojar. Duele el amor sin ti. Duele hasta matar. Duele el amor sin ti. Todo está tan gris. Siento la humedad
Siento
en mí de verte llorar, ni hablar. Si es que tú te vas de aquí, creo que a mí me va a sufrir. Siento la humedad en mí de verte llorar, ni hablar. Si es que tú te vas de aquí, creo que a mí me va a sufrir. Duele el amor sin ti. Llueve hasta mojar. Duele el amor sin ti. Duele hasta matar. Duele el amor sin ti. Todo está tan gris.
Good morning, CABE familia. Muy buenos días. ¿Cómo están? I'm Jan Gustafson Correa, and it is such a pleasure to greet you on this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope you have your cafecito. I hope you got a good night's sleep after our fabulous baile de CABE anoche, and you're ready for our final day at CABE 2022. We have had such an amazing week together. And as we get ready for today, I just want to remind you again, once again, that if you'd like to hear today's presentation in Spanish, you click on the interpretation icon at the bottom of your screen. And if you'd like to read this subscripts or the captions in English, you can click on the live transcript button. También quisiera recordarles que estamos ofreciendo interpretación en todas las sesiones generales. Si desea escuchar la presentación de hoy en español, seleccione el icono de interpretación y su idioma de preferencia. Gracias a nuestro equipo, a nuestro gran equipo de interpretación por su apoyo hoy en día y toda la semana. Y también si quieren ver la letra, los subtítulos en inglés, pueden también escoger abajo de la pantalla el botoncito que dice say, ahí van a salir también la letra en inglés. Entonces, pueden escoger el icono de interpretación o para ver también los subtítulos en inglés. Bueno, pues muchas gracias a todos por estar presentes. And now, to get us started, I have the great pleasure of welcoming another one of our members of the CABE Board of Directors. You know, we have 14 members of our board, and you've had a chance to meet all of them, almost all of them, and you'll get a chance to meet a few more today. It really is just a great pleasure to introduce a great friend, a great colleague, una amiga muy querida, our Director of Community Affairs, Marisa Lazoneco. Bienvenida, Marisa.
Thank you, Jan. Muchas gracias and muy buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Yes, Jan, I am joining with a cafecito this morning. So hopefully you get to join us as well with a cafecito or with a tecito or chilaquiles, whatever you're enjoying this morning. Welcome. What a beautiful day to be together on our last day of CABE 2022. What an amazing experience this week has been for all of us. We've had a wonderful week at CABE here as a CABE community and familia. I want to give a special shout out to the parents and families that have attended CABE this week. I know you're going to be just ecstatic as I was when I heard and I heard a rumor for their, around their rumorcito that we had about 700 parents register for CABE this week. And I have loved seeing the learning, the sharing, the questions, the community building that has gone through our workshops, discussions, and virtual connections. Our parent center was full every day with motivational speakers, activities, raffles, and fun. And yes, our CABE staff at the parent center has been welcoming all of the families, all the questions. And so hats off to every parent who attended this week with us. Hats off to the family engagement staff from CABE that has been so warm and welcoming at the center. That is what being a community is all about. And nowadays we need it more than ever. So sharing with each other, working towards common goals and being there for each other is what we need. Our following guests today are part of our broader CABE community and familia. We will hear from Mirna Rasmussen, a member of the NABE board, and then Superintendent Alberto Carbajo, the new superintendent from LAUSD. So we want to welcome both of you. Bienvenidos a los dos.
Good morning, bonjour, buongiorno, ciao Weizan, zhao zhenghua, y buenos dias. Congratulations to the CABE board, CABE staff, and Jan Correa for holding an amazing 2022 CABE virtual conference. Stand up, get up for biliteracy and multilingual rights. My name is Dr. Mirna Rosado Rasmussen, and I am currently the National Association for Bilingual Education Secretary, and most importantly, the NABE Affiliates Liaison. I'm here representing our NABE President, Dr. Margarita Pincos, and the NABE Executive Board. It is an honor to serve in the National Association for Bilingual Education and collaborate with CABE, as we are currently retooling and engaging in many efforts to improve our organization and collaborate with others. This year, I have collaborated diligently and effectively with many leaders internationally and nationally, leading to more efficient processes to increase success and improve communication in holding meetings face-to-face, sharing information, and creating a united space of collaboration. As we all know, we need to be connected now more than ever. So during this challenging year, our president, Dr. Margarita Pincos, she has worked very hard to implement initiatives among our board. She has created several internal committees with targeted objectives to have a space in DC to continue advocating for multilingual programs, also to provide better service to our essential membership. And of course, we're extremely proud, super orgullosa of our very own Western Region representative and executive board member, Dr. Cristina Alfaro, for receiving the CABE 2022 Innovation Leadership Award. Muchas felicidades a mi colega. Very excited to continue working as a true partner with CABE. And again, muchas gracias y sigan adelante. Congratulations on a very successful conference. Saludos a todos.
Hola y bienvenidos. Espero que ustedes disfruten de esta experiencia. Bem-vindo. Espero que gostem desta experiência. Ciao. Espero tudo está bene. Bienvenue et bonjour. J'espère que vous allez bien. Welcome to CABE. Does that not sound beautiful? Our ability to express ourselves in the languages we love. I am Alberto Carvalho, proud superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to the CABE conference. As a former English learner, as a multilingual person, the work you do is so important to me both on a professional and personal level. I hope this conference will truly inspire you to stand up for biliteracy and multilingual rights and opportunities. LA Unified has been fortunate to have had such a long-standing relationship with the CABE organization and conference. We've been honored to serve as a sponsoring district and to have CABE attendees visit our schools and observe our programs and our students. Our teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals, and parents have greatly benefited from their conference attendance, which has had a direct impact on the quality of instruction to our students. During the difficult period before the passage of Proposition 58, CABE was a sort of support for our committed bilingual educators and supporters. CABE tirelessly advocated for the restoration of these programs and provided a beacon of hope that the tide would turn, and turn it has. Since the passage of Proposition 58, Los Angeles Unified has had a dynamic increase in our dual language programs, as well as in the number of graduating seniors receiving the state seal of biliteracy. Each year, more and more parents are requesting dual language education programs for their children. In the current school year, we are operating 211 dual language programs in TK through 12 in 7 languages, and over 7,000 seniors in the class of 2021 received the state seal upon graduation. We continue to work diligently on extending our programs for elementary to secondary schools so that students have a K-12 pathway and can reach high levels of academic language in both English and a target language. I wish that each one of you has an excellent experience during this conference, and that together, we who believe in the importance and the power of biliteracy and multilingualism will continue to increase our students' multicultural and multilingual opportunities and academic achievement.
Beautiful. Thank you, Medina Rasmussen and Superintendent Cabajo, for the multilingual greetings this morning and for being with us today. Reading the chat truly inspired me of how your message resonated with all of us here today. On this final day, I have to share how grateful we are for the generous support of our sponsors who make this conference possible. Now, we would like to welcome and thank our gold level sponsors, Be Glad Renaissance and Velasquez Press.
Be Glad is an award-winning professional development organization specializing in language and literacy acquisition. The Be Glad en Español online training course presents over 70 research-based instructional strategies that are effective in any language immersion model, in both virtual and in-person settings. This easy-to-follow course with built-in coaching elements will explain the purpose, research background, and step-by-step process of each strategy 100% in Spanish. The course includes dynamic demonstrations showcasing the teacher-student relationship and interaction. We provide authentic student examples of academic reading, writing, listening, and speaking. The Be Glad en Español course is self-paced, accessible online from any device, and can be done from the comfort of your own home. It has never been easier to improve your instruction and support student success without having to write set plans. Register now and experience how Be Glad strategies transform your teaching. Viva el multilingüismo!
Research tells us that to better learn a first or second language, one of the most effective things you can do is read for pleasure in that language. The English and Spanish Reading Development Literacy Solution from Renaissance helps your students do just that with well-established and research-validated products. Designed to help students gain reading skills and fluency in their native language, target language, or both, this solution provides benefits in key areas. Number 1. Knowing which text is just right. Reading within students' developmental range and interests can accelerate growth and avoid frustration or boredom. Gain insight into students' current reading achievement level with Spanish or English versions of Star Reading. With this information in hand, students can find that just right book and view reading recommendations in Accelerated Reader and MyOnReader based on their interests and reading history. Number 2. Ensuring access to a variety of books and articles. Fiction or nonfiction, digital or print, English or Spanish, dogs or detectives. Students can choose from thousands of MyOn digital books, and accelerated reader quizzes for books in your library. Reading is one important way to learn a language. Whether learning to read in English, Spanish, or both, the English and Spanish Reading Development Literacy Solution provides what students need to grow their reading skills and develop a love of reading.
Thank you so much, Be Glad, Renaissance, and Velasquez Press.
Thank you for joining us at
Every
the CABE
year.
conference. We hope you have learned new ways to help our students, and we're filled with inspiration and energy to continue the very important work of educating our children. Velasquez, as always, is proud to have sponsored CABE, and we're excited to announce that we've been hard at work in developing new ways to support you and your students' families via professional development and materials. The new Velasquez Family Biliteracy Program can help you promote equity and engage families. We encourage you to leverage the new California recommendations for implementing Biliteracy Pathway Awards and celebrate families who wish to become biliterate. Our Velasquez Academic Spanish Language Academy, VASLA, provides for teachers who teach in Spanish a refresher of academic Spanish and helps them become more confident in their teaching skills. Customized courses are available, including some for content teachers. If you're looking to have your teachers improve lesson planning through an equity lens and ensure students are provided with culturally rich lessons, please look to attend our C6 Biliteracy Instructional Framework Institute on May 6th and May 13th, featuring José Medina. For these and many other supports, please visit our website or call our office at 626-448-3448. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful rest of the spring semester. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Be Glad, Renaissance, and Velasquez Press. And I apologize to my wonderful colleague, Jonathan Ruiz. I didn't mean to jump in on your speech, but I really got excited about the amazing support and services you both provide to our community. So once again, thank you, Be Glad, and Renaissance, and Velasquez Press. Every year at its annual conference, CABE recognizes an outstanding CABE chapter that exemplifies the CABE vision of biliteracy and educational equity for all. This year, CABE will be honoring the CABE Whittier Chapter 40 as CABE 22 Chapter of the Year during our annual membership meeting this morning at 10:40. I hope you can join us. One of the outstanding features of the Whittier chapter is their weekly podcast, which you can always find via their Facebook account, usually on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. So please tune in. They have exemplified what it means to be in service of the community. Felicidades, CABE Whittier. Please join me in congratulating them on the chat so they can read how amazing their work is impacting our community. Felicidades. Now, I would like to invite Cristina Salazar of Californians Together to share more information about our AB 540-1860, a bill that CABE and CalTAG are sponsoring together. Welcome, Cristina.
Hi, this is Cristina Salazar, Legislative Advocate for Californians Together. We need 1 minute of your time to support better data transparency and services for long-term English learners and students at risk of becoming long-term English learners. So please access the link provided to voice your support. AB 1868 comes from the Renewing Our Promise report, and we are asking for the disaggregation of data on the different typologies of English learners that will allow us to gain a deeper understanding of the needs of long-term English learners and those at risk of becoming long-term English learners. This is critical in a state where, according to the 2019-2020 data, nearly half of all English learners in grades 6 to 12 are long-term English learners, and over 1 in 3 of these long-term English learners are dually identified as students with disabilities. We must do better in providing an equitable education system for long-term English learners and students at risk of becoming long-term English learners. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Cristina. And CABE Familia, thank you for your response. We have a lot of work ahead of us to make sure that AB 1701 and AB 1868 that Cristina just shared more about passes both the Assembly, the Senate, and gets to the governor's desk for signing. Your signing onto these letters will make a huge impact. So we ask you again to scan the QR codes, to click on the links in the chat. It just takes a few seconds to fill in your name and information, and add your name to support AB 1701 to build more bilingual teacher access and to increase the number of bilingual teacher authorizations in our universities, and AB 1868 to increase services and support for data transparency for our long-term English learners. These are both crucial bills for CABE and our partners at Californians Together, and we greatly appreciate your support. So sign on today. We're asking every member that's here today, every participant, and in your families and your friends, colleagues, please send this link. Please feel free to share it. Take a picture of the slide, send it around. We need to get as many signatures as possible. So thank you so much. And again, thanks to Christina Salazar and to Jennifer Baker, our new legislative advocates in Sacramento for CABE and for Californians Together. They have moved forward the great legacy of our great colleague, Martha Zaragoza Diaz, and we continue growing and expanding our policy impact and work in Sacramento. Muchas gracias. So now, friends, I have just the great honor of introducing you to another CABE board member. This board member actually represents Region 4 of the CABE state regions. And I'm very honored because that's the region that I live in and that I'm a member of. I'm a member of the Riverside chapter. And it gives me great honor today to introduce to you a colega, a leader in the Inland Empire and really statewide, Mary Helen Ibarra. Welcome, Mary. Bienvenida.
Buenos dias. Good morning and buongiorno to all of you from the beautiful city of Corona, California. In my role as Region 4 representative, I serve our CABE chapter and members in 4 Southern California counties: Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley. If there's anything I can do to support you, just reach out and let me know. We are here to support and collaborate in any way we can. Now, it gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce mi amigo, Dr. José Medina, the founder and chief educational advocate for Dr. José Medina Educational Solutions. Prior to establishing this boutique consulting firm, Dr. Medina served as research scientist and director of dual language education at the Center for Applied Linguistics in Washington, D.C. He has served as an administrator, educator, and advocate at the elementary, middle, and high school levels, and is a former dual language school principal and district leader. With his vast experience, Jose provides his dual language technical assistance, professional development, and job embedded support to dual language programs across the United States and globally. He's a co-author of the 3rd edition of the widely used Guiding Principles for Dual Language Education. He is also the author of 3 bilingual poetry books based on his testimonio and a frequent commenter on social media advocating for biliteracy and multilingual rights for our students. We love you, Dr. Medina, and can't wait to share with you today. Welcome, bienvenido, Dr. Medina.
Thank you, Mary. Gracias, gracias. Le agradezco todo, especialmente the kind words. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you. So I'm super excited that I get a chance to hang out with my CABE friends today. We have a little bit of time, but I definitely wanted to have you reflect on some of the practices that have been embedded into us as we serve in US school districts. So today we're going to be talking about strategies to linguistically liberate students in the dual language classroom. And I love the CABE theme for this year, stand up, get up for biliteracy and multilingual rights. I would also add that we stand up for all folks. I don't know if you've heard, but some of the states around the country have been attacking our queer youth and queer communities. because I feel so blessed to be a part of the CABE community. I just wanted to go ahead and remind everyone that I am super gay today, even more gay than I was yesterday. And in my home state of Texas, and especially when I travel to Florida, I will absolutely be even more gay, because to be gay is to own your own identity. So mira, no pensaban que les iba a echar el aplastón, ¿verdad? But all of us have to leverage our support for LGBTQ plus students and families and educators. Así es que adelante. You have my contact information here. If you're not following me on social media, como dijo Mary, why the heck not? Because we are causing all sorts of desmadre in the name of equidad and social justice to make sure that students and families are able to see themselves and understand that what they bring into the US classroom is beautiful and valid. And so, ay, por favor, me siguen si no me han seguido. I did want to remind you of my full name. Mi nombre es el Dr. José Luis Medina Hernández Franco López Jr. Díaz Cruz a sus órdenes. And we are going to start with a little bit of dancing, of course. Now, I can't see you all, but my abuelita Juanita can see you from heaven. And so she will give me the chisme, and she has her chancla. My CABE friends, go ahead and get ready, because if I can't see everyone dance, you all are the ones that are going to be dancing. La Ruby está lista. Here we go. Adelante. He, she, they who does not dance, of course, will be in trouble. I don't know what kind of trouble, pero van a ver, van a ver. Here we go.
Latino dance.
Échenle ganas. Dale, dale, María Villa, no te hagas así. Now, sexy. Sexy, Miss Valencia. Y ahora rápido, Jan. I mean, I know what you're thinking. Is this really the language researcher that's going to facilitate today? Simón que yes. Simón que yes, because you can be a language researcher and have some rhythm, y'all. Mira, 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 mira. Okay, I'm going to ask my friend Ruby, because we know each other. Ruby, would you read for us what is on the right-hand side of the screen? And I want you to use your Veronica Castro voice, because it's very telenovela-ish.
In U.S. schools, linguistic oppression has been and continues to be a weapon of choice used to marginalize culturally and linguistically diverse student communities.
Ooh, Ruby came in ready. She came in ready. In the chat box, I'd like for you to write, what is your initial reaction to this statement? And as I share information and strategies quickly in the next couple of minutes, I also want us to ask ourselves, how have I linguistically oppressed the students that I was charged to serve? And if right now you're thinking, no, Jose, I never linguistically oppressed, cálmate. We're all a hot mess. Every single one of us is a part of a system that has oppressed. So how have we been a part of this oppression? And then the last question that I want you to think of, what culturally and linguistically sustaining pedagogical practices have I embraced to ensure linguistic liberation in my classroom, which is really, really important. Okay, so I only had a little bit of time, and I thought, what are some of the strategies? What are some of the things that you want folks to really take away, Jose, in a short period of time? So I came up with 3 considerations, 3 things that as educators, we can do to really move this work forward. Number 1, we have to acknowledge that we have been linguistically oppressive. Because if we're not willing to be reflective, if we're like, no, I've never done this before, I'm not even willing to consider it, then I don't know what to tell us, because we all have to acknowledge that in order to move forward. We have to embrace translanguaging research, y'all. There are some folks, even in dual language, that still consider that the 2 languages are completely separate in a dual language program. And yes, we model each of the 2 languages, and the kids mobilize each of the 2 languages, but we also create linguistically inclusive spaces and strategically allow the students to make those cross-linguistic connections. To deny students the opportunity to language fully in the classroom is in fact linguistic oppression. And then finally, we have to co-facilitate with kids. We have to co-create a linguistically inclusive classroom environment with those that we serve, because it is absolutely important. So let's go ahead and start with that first one. We have to acknowledge that we have been linguistically oppressive. Oh, I forgot. 2 things that I'm going to close with. I'm going to share some language objective information and some of the images of what does it look like to have these cross-linguistic connections in the classroom. Okay, so number 1, I acknowledge that I am a hot mess, but I am working on it every single day. Take a look at this.
Ancina. Pos. Mucho. Aiga. Neither. All language is hermosísimo y también super sexy. Grr.
¿Verdad? Because I have to tell you, there are some of us that are educators that have this idea that there is some kind of appropriate language and some kind of language that isn't as appropriate. And so I brought some examples with me because you know me, I like to call us out, ¿verdad? In the name of equidad, como les dije. These are some of the things that I've said recently and that I've heard others say recently, because remember that I am a linguistic oppressor and I'm working on it. My students are entering school and they are way lower or behind than usual because of COVID. I know that there are obstacles that we need to consider, but the fact that many of us are actually saying this and languaging about students in this way is oppressive. Mis estudiantes no saben nada, Dr. Medina, ni en inglés ni en español, like they don't know anything. They're really like low, bajitos en los dos idiomas. Really? Are they nonverbal? Because every child brings some type of language. And so it is upon us to really make sure that we're understanding that. That's not the correct way to say that. No se dice así. Every time that we say no se dice así, we are in fact oppressing students. Like I've seen a kinder teacher tell a kinder kid when the kid says, me voy a sentar en la carpeta, the teacher saying, no se dice carpeta, se dice tapete. Really, linguistic oppressor? Because in some families you do say carpeta, and it is not my job as a teacher to destroy language. It is my job to value the language that students bring in from the home and build upon it. Some of you don't like when a student says pos or naiden or troca. Why? Because all of that language is beautiful. Those parents have been in the US for several years and they still don't speak English. Really? That's what we're going to say. I don't plan for language objectives because I focus on content. That's what they need to pass the state assessments. I focus on standard English. Yo enseño el español puro, Dr. Medina. Lo que dice la RAE solamente. Are we really going to align ourselves fully without giving value to the language of the home and the community? And then this is my fave. Spanglish is spoken by those who cannot speak well in either language. I'm sorry, but if I'm able to switch from one language al otro and you don't like it, no es mi culpa, linguistic oppressor. That's your rollo que tú tienes que manejar, because Spanglish isn't something that we destroy. It is how many students actually identify. And so all of this connected to the languaging that we use, because we're saying so many things when we say we have low kids, medium kids, high kids. That language is hurtful and oppressive. And so our team, when facilitating professional learning, always asks teachers, when we're languaging about kids, when we're thinking about what kids can't or are still working to do, are we talking about content or are we talking about language? Because those are 2 very different things. So instead of saying I have low kids, medium kids, or high kids, I can say Jan from CABE is readily accessing the science content information. Or I can say Jan is accessing the content in the science unit. Or I can say Jan is working to access the content in this science unit. But now Jan is on the road. And so it is all about value added rather than deficit thinking. Now, Araceli Chavez may be one of the students that we serve, and Araceli Chavez is working towards that biliteracy piece that we've been talking about. instead of saying Araceli's really low in Spanish, but doing better in English, or vice versa, we can say Araceli Chavez is readily languaging in Spanish. Wow. She's still working to language in English. What an amazing opportunity to have Araceli engage in that cross-linguistic work. And so
sí, el trabajo lingüístico.
Excuse me? Oh, sorry, I heard somebody, I think it may be one of the folks that's helping us. So now you have this statement, readily accessing, working to access.
Ahora tenemos este proceso.
Jan, I don't know why, but I'm hearing the Spanish translation. In terms of language, students are readily languaging, or working to language, which is really a much more linguistically and culturally inclusive way to language about what students are able to do or are still working to do. Okay, I know that some of you, I'm looking at the chat here, some of you are like, OMG, este chaparrito guapo, he came in ready to rumble today as well. So let's take a look at translanguaging research because this is important. Let's move with this quick TikTok video.
I don't know what Spanglish speaker needs to hear this today, pero ahí les va. Don't ever apologize for being fabulous y poder hablar en un idioma and quickly switch to the other. Y al que no le guste, let them continue being linguistic oppressors y que se vayan a tiznar el alma a otro lugar, ¿verdad? I said it.
Mira, mira qué sassy. Del Paso, Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua. Always sassy, sassy. Oops, give me a second. There we go. So this is the translanguaging definition that Dr. Ofelia Garcia and team offer us. Translanguaging is the mobilization of specific language features within one linguistic repertoire based on the context and the need for communication. Translanguaging doesn't mean that kids or adults are using both languages at the same time. It can, but really translanguaging is about moving language from our one language bubble based on the context. At this moment, I'm translanguaging and my context is English. And so I am mobilizing English features from my one language bubble. En este momento estoy translenguajeando y mi contexto es el español. Así es que estoy movilizando el español de mi repertorio lingüístico porque es el nuevo contexto. But when I speak with my husband, who is from Puerto Rico, and we've been married for almost 19 years, don't hate, appreciate, we in this home speak English, Spanish, and Spanglish. If he asks me, Medina, how did your keynote go with las personas de CABE? I'm going to language in both English and Spanish because that's the new context. It went really well, fíjate, honey, les estaba echando muchos bombazos, but they seem to appreciate us. Es que vamos a ver how they react. All of those are ways to translanguage. And if you don't yet feel comfortable with this research, we need to get comfortable, y'all, because remember that a lot of the research that is foundational for us in terms of serving our emergent bilingual students was created and facilitated through a white, monolingual, monocultural perspective of teaching and learning. And so what Dr. Ofelia and others have done is that they are literally dismantling the systems of oppression that exist within our own language acquisition research. We are indigenizing what we have always known to be true. Híjole, mira, Jan, I wish that I could see their faces porque acabo de tirar un bombazo súper grandototote. If you're feeling como que le cayó el costal, sana, sana, colita de rana, I love you, eh? It's all about owning our participation in these systems, which is awesome. Okay, I know that I only have like a couple of minutes left, 8 minutes left. I wanted to share some visuals of what does it look like to linguistically liberate the classroom. Take a look at this as we transition to those pictures. I mean, if you're a hater of Spanglish, you're an oppressor. If you don't like pos, if you don't like mucho, my mom says pos and mucho. So I know you're not telling me that my ama is wrong because she's not. Remember that our job is to sustain students' linguistic repertoires and expand them. We were never hired to fix kids' languages. We were hired to love and leverage what they bring into the space, which is very, very different. Take a look at this video. This is a kinder dual language classroom. Check this out.
¿Me puedes decir cómo es que estamos aprendiendo hoy?
Writing and phrase languages.
Okay. Estamos escribiendo, estamos poniendo en dónde. En escritura y qué más.
¿Ahora sí me oyes, José? No, qué bueno. Voy a seguir traduciendo entonces.
Actually, I can hear you still. I can still hear you, so if we could fix that, that would be awesome.
Gracias.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I don't know if you were able to hear everything in this video, but the teacher asked the student, what language are you using to open the doors to the learning? And the student says writing and translanguaging. In kinder, the teacher recasts in Spanish because the student replied in English, and the student then says metalenguaje. I want you to know that there are TK students, kinder students, first grade students, 12th grade students in California, where teachers have created these linguistically inclusive spaces. And at any moment, you could actually ask the kids, oyes, ¿qué es la diferencia entre el translenguaje y el metalenguaje? What's the difference between metalinguistic awareness and translanguaging? And these kids that are 4 and 5 years old will tell you, metalinguistic awareness is making connections between English and Spanish in our head, or English and Mandarin in our head. And what's translanguaging? Moving the language we need when we need it. And so the question for me, for all of us is, if we were to ask the students in our classrooms right now, what is metalinguistic awareness? What is translanguaging? Would they be able to answer? Because if we've not given them that information, if we've not made them active participants in the linguistic liberation that has to happen as part of dual language programming, then we in fact are still facilitating instruction through a linguistically oppressive system. Oh, mira. Sí, claro que podemos crear mini linguists. That's exactly what we're doing, Karina. We are creating mini linguists. Okay, so what are some of those tools that you would expect to see in a classroom where we have created linguistic inclusivity? These icons are extremely important, and in connection with your language learning target, your language objective, they create a pathway so that students are able to actually access the grade level standard. It's so crazy that we don't give kids the credit that they deserve. Remember that the standard is behind heavy metal doors that are closed. And the language objective is literally the key that opens the door to that standard. And we need to let kids know, is it listening? Is it speaking? Is it reading? Is it writing? Or is it metalinguistic awareness? And it is that metalinguistic awareness piece that we have really used to oppress students. Thank you for the message. I'm getting a message that I can go just a couple of minutes more to 20 instead of 15. So I'm gonna take that because I wanna make sure that I share all of these images that I'm about to. So thank you for the heads up, I really appreciate it. Okay, so this is what it looks like when the kids actually own their language learning targets. Love the picture on the left because often we tell kids to turn and talk, and they don't say anything because we've not created the linguistic systems to liberate them. But if the kids know who's practicing their speaking, who's practicing their listening, then they're able to better manipulate the content and the language learning. So I can say, Jan, you're practicing speaking. Maria, you're practicing listening. Here's your language frame. You have 30 seconds and go. After 30 seconds, I bring the kids back. I say, Maria, you are now practicing speaking. Jan, you're now practicing listening. Use the same language learning, the language frame. You have 30 seconds and go. so that now the students really own that language domain as the key to open the doors to the learning. I love the image in the middle, y'all. It comes from Maryland. I love it because all of the kids in this school can tell you that a content objective is the what they are learning, and the language objective is how they will open the doors to the learning with the 4+1 language domains. How do they know that? Because the teachers have given them ownership. They've been through the training. They know about linguistic inclusivity, and so the kids have that access. The one on the right, I like it simply because they chose to do different kids with different skin tones, which I thought was amazing. I'd never seen that. But these 4+1 language domain icons really are a gift to us as we create these linguistically inclusive spaces. I love the one on the left. That's a 3rd grade team in Colorado. And they had a lot of kids that also had individualized education plans. They were twice gifted. They were special education. They were receiving special education support, and they also received linguistic support in dual language programming. So the teachers went to the dollar store and picked up these lights, and they have a 4+1 student expert every week. And the kid reviews the language learning target as the teacher reviews the content objective. Middle school, high school examples in the middle. The last one is from Hong Kong. Our team has been serving in Hong Kong for about 6 years in Mandarin English programs. And so this works in any 2 languages that are a part of your dual language program. This one is from Texas. This is El Paso Independent School District, secondary example, New Mexico. And then I wanted you to see this because this is not even a dual language teacher. This is an orchestra teacher who serves as part of a dual language program. And so even though she's facilitating instruction in English, she too is leveraging the 4+1 language domain icons. Let's talk cross-linguistic connections. I have served and am serving in districts in California. And one of the things that people have mentioned once in a while, but we've been told that we don't connect the 2 languages. In fact, not just in California, but all over the country, there are teachers that were told by their principals and district leaders to deny the fact that they were bilingual and biliterate and lie to their kids and tell them that they only spoke English or they only spoke Mandarin. That's crazy, y'all. We have to allow kids to access their entire bubble, because what they know in one language, they need to be able to mobilize in both program languages. The one on the left-hand side I like because the kids worked on a text about social justice. So we have a bridge level 1 there focused on content, but the kids realized that segregation, integration, and discrimination were actually interesting because they ended in TION. So the teacher and the students then took that work and they analyzed patterns between English and Spanish, specifically taking a look at the TION, CION. And so now this becomes their living, breathing anchor chart for any word that they encounter that follows this pattern, which is kind of amazing. The one on the right-hand side is a monolingual teacher who decided that in their classroom, they were going to be linguistically inclusive. And the teacher is fabulous and monolingual, but they immediately on day 1 tell kids, what are the languages that we are going to language in this classroom? And so you see there all of the languages represented from day 1, including Spanglish, which is amazing. Mira, mira. Some secondary examples in terms of cross-linguistic work, which are super, super important. PE, look at the one on the left-hand side. That's PE teachers who are not bilingual and biliterate, allowing kids to language their deep content understanding in both Korean and Chinese. And the one on the bottom, that's one of my favorite pictures ever. That is an AP psychology high school class. And the kids at the end of their units are allowed to language their deep content understanding. Even though it's a monolingual English classroom, they're able to language their deep content understanding in the language of their heart. I mean, look at that, pituitary gland. I don't even know how to say pituitary gland in Espanol because I wasn't allowed to be in a dual language program. I was forced to transition and become more quickly American, whatever the heck that means. And so this is what we're talking, y'all. This is what linguistic inclusivity means. It means that if we're at the elementary level and we have centers and we're facilitating instruction in Spanish, all of the centers are in Spanish, but one center brings the two languages together, which is what you're seeing on the screen. It means that if we're facilitating small work in math and all of the centers are in English because that's the target language, that's awesome. But one center focuses on that meta-linguistic awareness and brings the two languages together. This is not cheating the program language. This is creating strategic cross-linguistic connections so that students are able to language their deep content understanding in both languages. I know that this went by really fast. I'm actually facilitating a session right after this with Dr. Elena Izquierdo, and we're going to take things a little bit slower, but these are the things that I hope you remember. Number one, you have to acknowledge, just like I have, that we're a hot mess and we have linguistically oppressed students. We have to embrace translanguaging research. To deny that translanguaging research is important is to linguistically oppress. And we have to co-create a linguistically inclusive classroom with students, including students owning the 4+1 language domains. That meta-linguistic awareness domain is most important, and those cross-linguistic connections. I also want to give a heads up to and props to my friends at Velázquez Press for allowing me to create linguistically inclusive bilingual text. Lo que se dice se hace is about the story and about my entry into the schooling system. Familia is about our immigrant experience. And then if you're looking for a book that amplifies the LGBTQ plus student community in English, Spanish, and Spanglish, then here you go. Here's your exit ticket. I know it's time for us to go. Now that we've hung out for 35 minutes, what will you do differently? I will empower students to become linguistically liberated by post it on social media. If you post it on social media, make sure to tag me, because to not tag me is rude. No se hagan. I love the statement on the right, because we are all a big mess, perfectly imperfect. And I'll pass it over to Mary, who introduced me, so that she can thank you for being here. Adelante.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Medina, for that informative, inspirational, and invigorating keynote address. Your powerful and motivating message gives us strength, hope, and much food, comida, for thought. I will now pass the mic over to mi amiga Marisa. We're pretending we're in person. Marisa, take it away.
Thank you, Mary. And Dr. Medina, you dropped the mic. Mary, you are so fortunate to have introduced him and thanked him, but I just have to tag in and you know, colarme, like my family and I would say, and just thank Dr. Medina as well, because your words have inspired me. And I just have to say, la mera neta, I love this quote, and I saw it on the chat that many people said, we need to quote your words of inspiration and reflection and put them on posters. I love this one that you said that resonated with my heart. We were never hired to fix kids' languages. We were hired to love, embrace, expand the knowledge they bring. So my heart says, claro que sí, Simón. I will definitely take your words today and learn, continue to learn and grow as a person and as an educator. So thank you so much for your words. You dropped the mic this morning. And thank you, CABE Familia, CABE community, for joining us this morning and taking part in CABE 2022 online all week. We have a great final conference day for you today, so please make sure you don't miss any of these wonderful activities and events planned out for you with our corazón. We have 3 sessions this morning of workshops, features, speakers, and institutes. The times for this are 9:30 to 10:20, 10:40 to 11:30, and 11:50 to 12:40. So please mark your calendars. There is so much to learn, and we hope you will take advantage of every minute today. The CABE Educational Film Festival features 2 great films today: Light, Camera, Acción, and Our Story of War and Remembrance. Each will be followed by an interactive Q&A with filmmakers. So hopefully you can join us and have these reflection conversations together. Our virtual exhibit hall will open again for 2 hours today from 10:40 to 12:40. Come and meet our sponsors and exhibitors and see the latest materials, products, and services for English learners and biliteracy students, families, and teachers. There will be raffles, and we know how much we love raffles, so please attend, interact with the exhibitors, and attend the raffle opportunity, because I believe you have to be there to win. And also, don't miss out on the opportunity to meet these amazing exhibitors and partners. CABE members, please make sure you become a CABE member if you're not a CABE member yet. And if you are, please join us at the annual CABE membership meeting at 10:40. During this meeting, we will also be honoring our amazing CABE Whittier chapter, chapter 40, with the CABE Chapter of the Year Award. So please come to the Fiesta en Celebración and great conversations to continue to move this work forward. Today's MCAP, IHE, Covenant at 10:40 is an invitation to all bilingual authorization professors to learn about resources and tools available to grow and expand their programs. So please join us. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat, and I know our amazing CABE staff will answer any questions you have about this. At 11:50, we will honor 6 university students receiving teachership awards. What a great celebration. This is a scholarship for students pursuing a bilingual teaching credential. Don't miss their inspirational bilingual and multicultural stories. Finally, we will bring our conference to a close today at around 11:50 with our dear friends, Dr. Virginia Collier and Dr. Wayne Thomas, and with inspirational words from our Presidenta and our immediate past Presidenta. So please come back and celebrate with us what an amazing CABE 2022 conference week this has been. For now, please go relax for a few minutes and join the next sessions that are coming up soon. Have a great morning, everyone. Gracias.
Le traigo el remedio para ese mal de amor que le estremece. No se merece sufrir si su pareja le dejó. Oh, tengo toda clase de brebajes medicinales. Las he traído desde muy lejanos bosques hasta aquí. Soy hierbatero, vengo a curar su mal de amores. Soy el que quita los dolores y habla con los animales. Dígame de qué sufre usted, que yo le tengo un brebaje que le devuelve el tono y lo pone bien, 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 bien. Si a usted, señor, lo deja su mujer, úndese en el alma con manitas de clavel. Y para la señora que el marido ha sido infiel, no se preocupe, búsquese un usted también. De depresión, mal de amor, lleva varias noches sin dormir y sus días no van bien en el trabajo. Bajo, anda moribundo, preocupado, cabizbajo, desenamorado. Le tengo la solución si le duele el corazón. No soy doctor, soy hierba.